So now, when dealing with cos 60, this is how we do it. So it's still the same. We know that cos is a over h, which is the adjacent over the hypotenuse side, which is 1 over 2. 1 over 2. So sin 60, it's the opposite over the hypotenuse. Good. So it's root 3 over 2. So now, coming to 10, 1060, it's root 3 over 1, which is just root 3. So this is how we're gonna deal with this thing. But before we end the lesson, there are this thing, they're in a way they're opposites of this trig ratios. We have something, for sure maybe one or some of you all may have heard about it. It's called cosec, and here the opposite of cos is sec, and here is cot. So now cosec is the opposite of this. So since it's the opposite of sine, so this is the opposite of cos, this is the opposite of tan. So now, since we know that sine is O over h, so now cosec is the opposite of it. Sine was O over h. Now cosec is the opposite of this, so which means we're gonna just flip the denominator and the numerator, which we know now cosec is h over O, just like that. So now let's say maybe you are given an exercise, you are ordered to find cosec 30, which means we are just looking for the sine opposite of sine 30, which if sine 30 was 2, 1 over 2, so which means this thing is gonna be 2. It's just like that, it's just 2. So let me just erase this. I was just showing you that it's just flipping the denominator and the numerator. The answer is 2h over O. So now the sec 45. So now let's say we are supposed to find sec 45. I'm just gonna use just one example just to show you that it's just the opposite of it. Let's say even if you may be given cos 30, you are just gonna go there to cos 30 and just it's gonna be the opposite of it. It's gonna be 2 over root 3, just like that. So now we must find it's the inverse of cos 45. So now if cos 45 was 1 over root 2, now sec 45 is root 2 over 1, which is just root 2. So now let me try to do this cosec 45. So cosec 45, we know it's the opposite of sin 45. So we go here, sin 45 is 1 over 2. 1 over root 2. So it's gonna be the opposite of it, which is just root 2. So that's how we're gonna do it. So now let's go to our final. So cot is the opposite of 10. So cot is the opposite of 10. In some textbooks they write it like this, which is just the same. It's the same. This is me putting it in a positive exponent. So now, let's say we are supposed to find cot 30. No, let me start first with this one here, cot 60, cot 45, cot 30. So it's the opposite, cot 60, good. It's the opposite of 1 over tan 60. So you can still do it like this or like this, it's the same. So tan 60, it's root 3. So it's gonna be, it's similar to this, it's something like this. Since this was cot, it's 1 over the tan 60. So now cot 45, our tan 45 was 1. So that's just the same. So it's 1 over 1. It's just 1. So now tan 30 was 1 over root 3. So it's 1 over tan 30. Then it's 1 over root 3. So we can just flip this. It's just root 3 over 1, which is just root 3. So this is how we tackle our trig ratios. Hope you had a beautiful and wonderful lesson, because I did. So if you have not yet subscribed to our channel, please subscribe, press it. And on next week's lesson, I will try to do resistors in parallel. So I really had a great time with you, and enjoy the rest of your day. Bye bye.